Hello, welcome to the show. This is RJ from Game News USA, and today we're gonna go over Venom The Last Dance reviews off of Rotten Tomatoes. And boy, oh boy, do we have a major discrepancy here. 37% for the critics, 80% audience score. Huge discrepancy, and we're going to go over why I think that is. So thank you for being here. Please remember to hit the subscribe button, much appreciated. Okay, so my thoughts on it are, if you're watching the third movie in this franchise, you probably already liked it anyway. So a lot of the people going to see this movie are already avid fans who are most likely going to enjoy what they're seeing. That would be the discrepancy here. But it's one of the largest discrepancies I've ever seen. 80% for the audience, only 37% for the critics. And guys, we're going to go over the critic scores right here. I feel like that might be a little more reliable if you're not already a fan of the franchise. So, let's see. Mark Mazoros with a Rotten Tomato saying there is some fun along the way, such as the moment from the promotional footage in which Venom overtakes a horse to supercharge it, but there's nothing special to be found in The Last Dance. Ultimately, stuff like that is why I passed on it. I didn't watch the first two movies. Why would I go see the third one? David Jenkins with a Rotten Tomato, 2 out of 5, saying the film is, for the most part, a litany of bad, embarrassing, or lowest common denominator choices, and it's unsurprising that the love interest from previous films, Michelle Williams, has opted to cut and run with this new one. Wow. That's harsh. Sebastian Kahn with a 2 out of 5 Rotten Tomato, saying it's more of the same, just more uninspired. It feels like a forced ending with a tone that valenciates between sentimental and ridiculous, and that never manages to develop its ideas well, even if most of them are unoriginal. James Birondelli with a 2 out of 4 Rotten Tomato, saying it relies so little on real actors doing real acting that it might as well have been animated. It's loud, chaotic, and not the least bit interesting. Oof, I can see why I didn't want to go see this. Kenny Coleman with a fresh tomato, saying Venom The Last Dance is an improvement over the previous two movies. I finally accept Eddie Brock and Venom as a comedy duo. Yeah, my guy, if you gotta wait 3 movies to get that going, that might be a little too long in the tooth, you know? Randy Jones with a Rotten Tomato 2 out of 5, saying in typical Sony Marvel fashion, I got another horrendous mess. Also in typical Sony Marvel fashion, I had a blast. You had a blast, but you gave it a Rotten Tomato. Make it make sense. Joseph Garcia with a fresh tomato, a 3.5 out of 5, saying the film offers a heartfelt farewell to the franchise, while unexpectedly breathing new life into it, resulting in an uneven but mostly enjoyable experience. I think that's a minority opinion. Nick Haston with a Rotten Tomato, saying Venom is visually interesting creation with its alien knockoff knife-toothed predator's head bellied by big wet eyes, but the weightless digital punch-ups feel unreal, and being asked to shed a tear for the head-chomping lug is a bit too much. Tori Preston with a Rotten Tomato, saying in the end Venom The Last Dance is just another comic book movie. And that's the theme you're going to notice is sometimes they just keep shitting out these comic book movies, shitting out these cash grabs, and I think they're finally starting to realize that this shit is not sustainable. So you're seeing, like, it slow down a bit. Windy-eyed with a Rotten Tomato. Hardy is a highlight, playing Eddie as a man who had more than enough of the party that's raging in his head. But Kelly Marcel's film is a sloppy, incoherent letdown. Ian Provolonsky with a 2 out of 5 Rotten Tomato, saying, as the Last Dance goes on, then it's less impeccably choreographed waltz, then a bizarre bit of freestyle, where the most fun part is watching the dancer fall all over himself. They didn't like the choreographing in the movie. Nick Johnston with a Rotten Tomato, saying, alas, there are too many competing energies here to let the movie breathe. Tim Brennan with a fresh tomato, saying, when Venom The Last Dance leans into the weirdness and steps away from the standard plot points, it pushes the envelope of the genre in an unexpected direction. More of that, please. Abby Bernstein with a fresh tomato, giving it a score of a B, saying, the good news is that it's energetic and fun. That person must have been in a good mood when they watched the movie. Sean Edwards with a 3 out of 5 fresh tomato, saying, it's a popcorn movie by every definition of a popcorn movie at every level. Okay, you gave it a 3 out of 5, buddy. Stop the glazing of a 3 out of 5 movie. Victor Rencios with a 4 out of 5 fresh tomato. Tom Hardy and Kelly Marcel achieved the perfect symbiosis, making Venom 3 The Last Dance an intense and emotional closing of the trilogy for the Lethal Protector. Sounds like a real fan of the movie right there, who's a critic. Alci Rifangango with a fresh tomato, saying, Venom as a franchise works as a comic book cousin of Lethal Weapon or any other popular series featuring entertaining mismatched duo. Vincent Massini with a Rotten Tomato, saying, the weakest of the franchise by virtue of it having to do most of franchise stuff, and yet the central concept of Tom Hardy having an alien imaginary friend who makes him do cool stuff still plays. But yet, didn't play good enough for you to give it a fresh tomato, now did it? Jonathan Sim with a fresh tomato, 7 out of 10, saying, if you didn't like the first 2 movies, you won't feel differently about this. But if these movies scratch your guilty pleasure brain, like me, then have at it. At least he's self-aware. Austin Burke with a 5 out of 10 Rotten Tomato, saying, The Last Dance is a cheesy, yet it showcases the relationship between our title character and symbiote beautifully. The biggest mishap is the jumbled mess of a story, as it nonsensically jumps around for 90 minutes straight. Yeah, at least it's not a long movie, but sounds like it's pretty incoherent, jumpy, not choreographed well. People are complaining about it. The critics don't like it. You're not making new fans off of it. But for the core Venom audience, this is exactly the movie you would want and expect for the send-off of the franchise. So with that, guys, that is me going over the movie review scores for Venom The Last Dance. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Peace. Have a good one. I'm out.